but this is the real, the messy, the why everything happens for a reason kind of story. This is for any woman who has ever thought about leaving their husband, thought about a different life, thought about staying. Can we make it work? Every day I would wake up and I knew it was not where I was supposed to be. This is not what I was supposed to be doing with my life. I was not happy. I wasn't going after what I was supposed to be going after in my life, and I knew it. I knew the morning of our wedding, ironically, when we got married in Hawaii, I knew I shouldn't marry my ex-husband. We got in this huge fight, and I thought, he loves me, he makes me laugh, and that's enough. And it's going to work. On our 6th anniversary, he asked me if I was happy because obviously things had changed and I wasn't happy. And I think he felt that and knew that, even though he didn't want to admit it. And I said, no, I want a divorce. And as I was sitting there on the couch, I mean, obviously those moments of our lives that are huge, they're embedded in our brain. And I remember Brooklyn, I remember his face, I remember my feelings. And I got this out of body feeling. And then I just said the words, no, I'm not happy and I want a divorce. And honestly, I cannot believe that I actually said the words. It wasn't like I was speaking. It was like my body was over here and I was watching myself saying it. It didn't go over well. And I walked out the door and I moved back in with my parents. I was 40 years old at the time. I was now a single mom. I did have a job as a flight attendant, which was great, but I had to work over 20 days a month just to provide the basics. And I knew I didn't want that life. When was I going to see Brooklyn? When was I going to have a life if I had to fly so much? So I always loved real estate. I always had these big dreams, but honestly, I never was supported in my dreams. And so I was on a layover in Dallas and I was like, I'm going to buy an Airstream. I didn't ask for anybody's permission. And I think this is so key because I've always been the person to I call my mom, I call my friend, I call a lifeline. Hey, what do you think? Should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? And what, talk me through this. But this was a knowing, my friends, like a knowing deep inside my soul. I did not ask anybody. I did not ask for permission. I didn't ask anybody's opinion. I started going on Craigslist, Facebook. I started Googling how much are vintage Airstreams, how much to renovate, different floor plans, different types. And I found her. A week later, I have goosebumps. I just found her. She was in Phoenix. She was $10,000. She was in 1978, the year I was born. I wanted Vista View windows, a mid-bath. I had done my research. And I got all my friends involved for that. Grace, my beautiful friend in Phoenix, she drove me up to the mountains to see it. I had about $15,000 from the divorce, and I used 10 of it to buy this Airstream. And meanwhile, still living with my parents, and it was not inhabitable. It didn't work, but I just knew I could figure it out. So I then called my dad. We flew out there. We hauled it to Indio. I parked it. I started working on it myself, renovating it little by little, transforming it. This is where the magic happens. So I needed a contractor. And my friends had a recommendation. I called him up. I really instantly loved him. He was amazing. I could tell he was good at what he did. He validated all my feelings. And so anyway, we worked together for over a year on this project. And it was a very hard project for him because, as you know, Airstreams have curved lines. They're not angular like most houses. So the cabinets that we had to build were curved and all this. So anyway, we became really good friends. And at the end of this project, and we called her Cinderella because she went from rags to riches. I feel like she represents me, even though I feel like it's a transformation right through our lives. And aren't we all going through that? I mean, we're never really the same people. Think about where you were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I guarantee you don't have the same feelings, the same fears. I mean, you may still have the same, but they're different and they're altered by your experiences. So anyway, he said, I think you should be an interior designer. I need one. Come work with me. And at first I was like, whoa. I don't have a background in interior design. I just know what I love. And I just feel like I know what looks great together. And he's like, it doesn't matter. You don't need a background. He's like, you've got the eye. You're great with people. I want to hire you. So I did it. I didn't ask why not. I didn't care that wasn't certified. I didn't care what people would think. I was like, absolutely, I'm going to dive head first. So I taught myself CAD. I taught myself how to do the renderings, and he got me jobs, and I messed up some. I did great on some, but I'll tell you, he was my angel, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gone down that path. And then that's when I got my real estate license. I learned how to wholesale houses. I ended up flipping a house with him, which was an amazing experience, and I loved it, and I'm going to do it again. But through all that, I would not be where I am today had I not bought that Airstream and started that journey. I didn't ask what's the worst that can happen. I was basically like, this is what's happening. I had no doubt. And when you have no doubt that something's going to work, that's when you make it work, because you do the things that you need to do it. There's no question about it. You just do it because it's happening. There's no question. There's not what if this was that, you just do it. And I think that is where the magic really happens, because I just keep following my heart. I just keep finding the fun. I knew it was going to be fun to do that Airstream. I just meet the right people at the right times because I'm constantly putting myself in an uncomfortable position. I'm constantly pushing myself. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I go anyway. And I think about, okay, if I don't go, what's going to happen? Nothing, right? Nothing. And if you want nothing to happen, keep doing nothing, because that's exactly what's going to happen. But if you keep pushing yourself and you keep putting yourself out there, then things are going to happen. It may not be exactly as you think they're going to happen. I know certainly not for me, and I'm certainly not exactly where I want to be yet. I am definitely on a journey of growth and expansion, but I feel I'm on my journey though. I'm on my path. And are we ever at the end destination? No, but I do think that there's little pit stops, right? Of like success, like you hike and then there's like a little campground and you're like, yay, I made it. I'm going to refresh my backpack and maybe have a cocktail or take a shower, whatever that point is. And then you continue on your journey. And isn't that life? Isn't that the magic when you're like, get to those campground spots and you celebrate that you've made that milestone? And so I've definitely celebrated milestones along my journey, but wow, my journey to where I ultimately want to be, well, I shouldn't even say that, because where do we ultimately want to be? We're ultimately dead. So, I mean, we're constantly growing, right, in this life. So, I have a lot more campgrounds to stop at. And I believe that as this journey goes, my campgrounds are just going to be getting more and more elegant and elaborate and fun and full of memories and full of people that I am meeting in this incredible life. So, that's my basically story from 40. So how do you feel? What resonates with you? Did I say anything maybe in there that could help you with your journey and where you're on? And what are you afraid of? Like what are you not going to? What events are you not going to? Or what opportunities are you not taking because you're afraid, or you just don't really want to, but it would be a good move? My challenge to you is to say yes, is to ask why not instead of why. Ask why not go. Why not? What is going to happen that is going to be so bad? Probably nothing. You'll probably go home and say, that was okay. And then that didn't really get much out of it. Or you could go and say, wow, I met this really great person, or I had this really great conversation. Most likely that's what's going to happen. So let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.